Everybody, it's your boy. You know what it is. New week, new video. Your boy Ruben, another Level Sports video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Follow the link. It'll take you right there. Give your boy some love and continue to follow. I do more than just Knicks stuff, but Knicks is where the heart is. And let's just go. Tomorrow, game 1, NMSG, Miami Heat, rivalry rekindled. What more can I say? Like who do you love here? All right, Miami Heat fans, I'm gonna try to give it to y'all straight if you are watching. Okay, so let's understand something. I want to do something with this YouTube channel. I want to be able to provide a platform where we can have real debates, not just biased debates. And you can accuse me of being biased, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion and how I see it. As hard as it may be for some of y'all to understand, I'm going to try to give you facts to roll with, so that I'm going to give my opinion, and then I'm going to give the facts to support that opinion. And you can say I'm biased or whatever, but I'm going to give you the facts to support it, and you take with it what you will. All right. With that being said, the only thing I told my boy Shane, who is a big time Miami Heat fan, that I wanted this matchup. And the only thing stopping this from being a 5-game series in the Knicks' favor is I don't know what to expect from Julius Randle. Now, I think I'm going to go Knicks in 6. And there's not a case that I see, barring more injury, that the Miami Heat beat the New York Knicks. And let me count the ways, all right? So, what's annoying to me is the lack of love the New York Knicks get. They're starting to get it now after people saw what we just did to Cleveland Cavaliers, even though very few people that were not Knicks fans picked the New York Knicks. I even heard get the strap that they were going to dog walk us and everything. Beat the Cavs in 5, all right? I heard Jalen Brunson ain't worth the money. Now it looks like a steal. I heard we were a playing team. We were the 5th seed. And comfortably at that by the end of the season, by 4 or 5 games. And now we're in the second round. What people have not grasped and followed is we've done it a way that a lot of teams don't do it. And what I mean by that is we drafted, we developed, and we made some smart, prudent free agent decisions. All right. You can say last year was a wash because we made some moves that kind of messed with the chemistry of the team, but we rectified that this year. I tell people all the time, if you can't build a team around a superstar, this would be a team, my team would look similar to this. I think every team, especially if you don't have a superstar, needs a point guard, and it needs a go-to guy. I think you need shooters. Check. I think you need defenders. Check. I think you need big men that can control the paint. Check. And then you just need a couple guys that can make plays above X's and O's. Check and check. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson. Now, are any of them superstars? No. I think Brunson's making his case to be a star, though. And quality depth. Check. This team legitimately runs 15 deep. We're only playing a 9-man rotation, but we run legitimately 15 deep. We have Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier on ice if we ever needed to break that glass open. All right. Deuce McBride is playing in spot minutes with us losing Randle and Grimes, right? And he's playing well. Okay. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what they need to do. Now, you guys have to come to grips with understanding that we're legitimate now. Okay, we destroyed the Cleveland Cavaliers. Destroyed them. We're going to do the same to the Miami Heat. And I'm sorry to tell y'all, Miami. The only reason, just like I told my boy, that this series even goes 6 or whatever is because of the trying to figure things out with Julius Randle. I'd actually rather he stay out this series because I don't think he's going to be needed. The only thing, now I will say this because I don't want to discount him like that. Like Julius Randle's very valuable. Even when he doesn't get it going, his rebounding, his ability to just be another shooter on the floor is invaluable. Him being out makes us less deep, right? So, but him being out also gives us an objective. We saw the birth of small ball lineups that we have been begging Tibbs to do when Julius Randle got hurt in that final game of the regular season against the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat proceeded to lose that game by like somewhere between 9 and 10 points, right? And part of that was, and this is what works in our favor, is every game we've played the Miami Heat, because mind you, we're 3-1. We were 3-1 against the Cavs. Guess who else we were 3-1 against? The Boston Celtics. But yet we still can't get our respect. Now, beat the Cavs 5-1. The reason Julius Randle being out might actually help us is that in some of those regular season games, because you remember a couple of them were won by 2 points, we were winning every game. The only reason some of those games got tight is because we do a couple of things in the regular season that I think we've nipped in the bud since. And that is, we'll get the lead, and then we'll revert to Randle ISO ball. The Miami Heat were one of the teams that actually found a blueprint on how to deal with Julius Randle, in that if he turns his back, blitz him from the blind side, because he doesn't have great vision and he doesn't react to it well. And the knock on Julius Randle for me is like he's a head down dribbler, meaning a lot of the stuff he does happens to be in rhythm, right? Like his threes come off the step back. He likes to put it between his legs a lot, but it's not with the intention of driving and kicking or anything like that. It's to set up his shot. Like he has kind of a wind up to set up into everything. And the Miami Heat kind of picked that up and they started blitzing him, and he would start turning the ball over. And that's how they came back in some of those games. But again, they were 3-1. When he went out, they didn't have an answer for us. Their answer initially was the double, sort of what Cleveland was doing with Jalen Brunson, where they were blitzing the pick and roll and doubling him at half court. But guess what? We now have experience with that now. And the rest of the team has picked it up. This is a series where I expect IQ to be a big contributor in this particular series, because with that, I have no doubt they're going to try to trap, double team, and make life difficult for Jalen Brunson. How you combat that is the rest of the team has to stand up, and I love IQ, who I think was robbed for 6th man of the year. Quentin Grimes makes us that much more dangerous, because if you're going to trap and we make the right pass and we rotate the ball, Quentin Grimes is going to be sitting in the corner. RJ Barrett can't afford to have another bad series. He bounced back. I think we learned some things with Cleveland. I just think a lot of the things we didn't do well, we learned how to overcome them in the Cleveland series, and we still dominated them. The shit that happened with Miami and Milwaukee won't happen in New York, all right? Because this is how I see it, guys. Milwaukee, and I know some of y'all are going to say, well, Giannis, they won without Giannis. They did. But they lost game 1. Giannis got hurt. They lost game 1. And that team didn't know how to cope with it. And there was already a nice little lead. But obviously, when there's a nice little lead and you give Miami that kind of cushion and you don't have a guy that's going to get you an easy bucket with Giannis, that's a tall order. But game 2, they got blew out. And then Miami was starting to get blown out in game 3. And let's see what happened. Game 1, they beat them. Game 2, they got blew out. Miami blew them out in game 3 with no Giannis, right? And then game 4, Giannis came back. It was a must win. They were blowing them out, but you can obviously tell Giannis was hurt and wasn't quite himself. And then both games 4 and 5, they had huge late fourth quarter leads, and they blew it against the Miami Heat. Here's what I will say about the Miami Heat. Miami, they are a tough, scrappy team. If you let them hang around and let Jimmy Butler smell blood, he's going to attack. He's a shark. He's an animal. All right. Much respect to him. I would never say this was a sweep just on the strength of him, even though I think we're about to get in that ass. But it was asked to me, we beat the Milwaukee Bucks. What makes you think you're going to beat us? We're not going to make the same mistakes that the Milwaukee Bucks make, number one. Number two, Milwaukee, when Giannis isn't Giannis, and this is what my observation, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. They're a good team without Giannis, right? Like, imagine a cupcake. Giannis is the entire cupcake, and the team is the icing, okay? But when you take the cupcake out, it's just icing. You got Brook Lopez. I know people say, he's finalist in the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's very good at that. I'm not gonna sit here and poo-poo that, but he's not a guy that's gonna guard you on the perimeter. Like when these kind of centers get like Defensive Player of the Year, there's a bit of a grain of salt you got to eat with it, because it's not like they're guarding guys on the perimeter, right? He's more of an anchor type, and there's no diss to that, because that's what Mitchell Robinson is. Except when you get him out in space, it's a problem, right? Bobby Portis, there are a bunch, without Giannis, I'm going to just say it, there are a bunch of guys that kind of just stand around. The only guy that kind of creates his own shot and does his thing and can get busy with the ball is Chris Middleton. But he's not a guy that's going to carry you. That's why Giannis does everything. The rest of the tall guys, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, just kind of stand around and hit threes and get, rebounds, right? But when they're not there, and then at the end of the game, I didn't finish the thought. They stand around, get rebounds, shoot threes. And at the end of the game, they say, Chris Middleton, go ahead and take us there, right? But Chris Middleton doesn't have the heart to do that all game. And I think Chris Middleton's nice. He can't do that all game. He had a good series. Don't get it twisted. I'm not poo-pooing Chris Middleton. But they're not those guys. Like Drew Holiday, good player. He's not the kind of guy that I want to count on getting busy offensively, right? And I think it was a mistake after watching Jimmy cook him and cook him and cook him and cook him to not switch that up. And when Giannis is on the floor, at the sheer size of Giannis would have disrupted Jimmy Butler, period, even though he was hurt. Now, with all that being said, the New York Knicks have players that can get busy with the ball. Jalen Brunson will cook you. RJ Barrett will, like you have to guard him. Like, he might have good or bad games, but the guy gets to the basket at will. Quentin Grimes can cook you. It isn't just a spot-up shooter. Like, these are guys that, like, they're not just spot-up 3-and-D guys that they're fish out of water when a guy like a Julius Randle's going to fall out. In fact, we get faster when Julius Randle falls out of the lineup. We now have lob threats. Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin's on the floor. Like, we're going to get more energy from us. You're not going to get the lack of energy that you get from the Bucks when Giannis is out or not himself. We're not going to let them off the hook. We're going to defend them better. We're well coached. And all of this, and they don't have Tyler Hero. We are more talented than them. Jimmy Butler's a freaking dog, but he can't do this one by himself. Knicks in 6, and y'all can at me. All right? And I feel like, and I'm sad that I'm saying 6. All right? But I don't know if they're going to plug in a hurt Julius Randle and mess the flow up. If he stays out the entire series, if we win the first couple games, I say sit him out and it's Knicks in 5. But I'm going to go Knicks in 6 only because I can't figure out what's going to happen with Julius Randle, and is he going to be good when he comes back? That little transition there affects everything. If he comes back and he's good, Julius Randle, Knicks in 5. If he doesn't come back, Knicks in 5. But if he comes back, Knicks in 6. There's not a scenario the New York Knicks lose this series. Jimmy Butler, I expect a good game. I expect a couple of good games from Jimmy Butler. But he's not dropping 56. We're not going to let him go off for 40+. That shit ends here. Welcome to New York. Welcome to the Eastern Conference Finals, New York Knicks. I'm out the window with that. Holla at your boy. Peace out.